Hello, my loves. Welcome to day one of my new series on power. And in this series, I'll be taking you every single day through a new module of the Codependency Cure Mentorship Program. And today's module is the chronic neglect of the self-neglect. So, welcome, Tanya. Hey. So, the chronic neglect of the self, what is this? Self-neglect is really the foundation of codependency. Codependency, the way that I define it, is when we have decided to do everything else in our lives at the expense of ourselves. It's when we have decided that we are not worthy of the care that we want to accept, of the care that we give others. We've decided that we are not deserving of happiness, peace, clarity, respect, comfort, any of the other things that we think other people are so perfectly deserving of. And what I want to do in this video today is to ask you a few questions that you can use in a journaling session or with other kinds of self-inquiry. Hello, welcome everyone. I'm so happy you're all here. Kayla, Esty, Mel, Tanya, hey. Serendipity Dreamer, I don't know you, but hello. Oh, hey, Taylor. Oh my God. Molly, everyone's here. You guys, I'm like dying. So back to self-neglect. I'm like getting distracted by how excited I am to see all of you guys. So with the chronic neglect of the self, when you have decided for so long that you deserve to be put last on your list, where is that coming from? So obviously, oftentimes this has roots in childhood. So we don't necessarily have to dig in too deep to that, but I think for clarity, it's important to just know, like, where do you think, where's the first instance that you could remember you actively wanting to put yourself last in order to keep the peace, make others happy, try to manipulate other people's emotions? And I say manipulate because it's manipulation. You trying to change another person's emotions is manipulation, even if it's not done in a malicious way. So when can you remember, like, what's your earliest memory of trying to put yourself last on the list in order to affect the outcome, in order to control your environment around you? Where is the earliest time you can remember where you neglected yourself? For a lot of people, self-neglect happened when they knew a situation wasn't healthy or wasn't right or wasn't functional, but they were told by others around them, most likely by adults, that this was either normal or the way it should be, or that they shouldn't ask questions, anything like this. So you may have been conditioned from a very early age to neglect yourself and to think that that was normal. Kayla, OMG, I've almost always put myself last my entire life. I can remember this from being a toddler even. Isn't that interesting? Yes. So if your earliest memory of this is from when you were 3, 4, I would encourage you to write that down. Like, what is your earliest memory of deciding to put yourself last? Where did this begin for you? And the point of doing this is not to place blame on yourself or others, because blame is disempowering and it doesn't help us. But the point of doing this is to just identify that this behavior did come in at some point and it can also leave. It ebbed and it can flow. So the next question that I want to ask you is, what is the thought keeping you in self-neglect still today? When you find yourself putting yourself last today, and it can be something as simple as you and another person were sort of like converging in the grocery store, both towards the same line, and you just like subconsciously, you just hung back a little bit, like just pretended to look at the crackers or something so that they could go ahead because you didn't want to run the risk of thinking that you caused any trouble, or, you know, that you were a squeaky wheel, or that you were like thinking you were too big for your britches by like walking ahead of them in line, even though you were both there at the same time. Like, if that it could be something as simple as that, or it could be something as large, as big, as important as your partner wants to have sex and you really don't, and you say yes anyways because you don't want to cause a fuss, you don't want to be a burden. You don't want to displease them. You don't want to displease them. That's a big one that I see coming up a lot of times for people. So if you can think of an example in your own life today where you chronically put yourself last, you neglect yourself, you walk away from yourself, you turn away from yourself, you abandon yourself. If you can identify a moment in your life right now where you do that, ask yourself, what am I thinking in that moment that causes me to do that? What am I thinking in that moment about me, about myself, about the situation, about the other person? What you'll probably find is that those thoughts that you're thinking that cause you to put yourself last or self-neglect are thoughts that tell you that you are responsible for other people's emotions. Now, we're going to dive more into this in a future module, in a future live on emotional childhood and emotional adulthood. Also, the module on responsibility touches on this because you are never, ever, ever responsible for other people's feelings, other adults' feelings especially. But it's interesting and necessary for you to look at those thoughts. What are you thinking that causes you to put yourself last? So write that down. And that clarity is all I want you to focus on today. Like I said, this will be a series where every single day I will take you into a little sort of mini deep dive into one of the modules in the Codependency Cure Mentorship Program. Today was self-neglect. If you have any questions about self-neglect or about the Codependency Cure Mentorship Program, you can send me a DM. You can also email my assistant at support@codependentmillennial.com. Her name's Cassidy. She's amazing and she'll answer any questions you have. And if you would like to apply for this program, if you recognize patterns of self-neglect in your life that have been going on for a long time, and by a long time I mean anywhere from 17 years to 4 weeks, because any amount of time of you neglecting yourself and putting yourself last is too much time. If you've recognized these patterns in yourself and you want to learn how to heal them, I would highly recommend applying for this program. There are limited spots. 4 are taken already by amazing women. And there are fast action bonuses that are expiring tonight, Monday, the 19th of October at midnight. So reach out to me if you would like an application. And until then, I will talk to you. Oh, Kayla. You guys, the program is legit. Thank you, Kayla. You're the best. Kayla is a current client in the mentorship program, and she's fucking killing it. All right, guys, love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Mwah. Bye.